Buckle up as I tell you a camping horror story that my family and I survived the flash flood in Lesterville, Missouri. We were camping at Twin Rivers Landing. This is the river the night before the flood. It was barely a foot deep. On this map here, this is Twin Rivers Landing. At the very bottom of the screen is the river on a normal day. Right above the red marker is a circle. That's where we were camping at. And right below the red marker is where we were taking shelter. From right around, I think it started raining around 10, maybe 11 o'clock the night before, until this picture is, I think, around 9 or 10 a.m. the next day. Some reports were saying it went from 2 feet to 24 feet in a matter of minutes. In this picture here, you could see the green circle is where we were camping. The yellow circle is where we had to abandon our car. The yellow squiggly is where we made way to our shelter. The red arrow is where we took shelter. The white arrow is the barn that floats away. And the purple circle over there to the right is actually where the camper floated to. My camper floated from the yellow circle all the way to the purple circle. Top of the screen, that's the extraction point. We were rescued by raft at the red arrow and then carried all the way up top. Carried all the way to the top, and somewhere in that white circle is the extraction point where we got out and where we take pictures of that horse that was standing there. And then they took us to that bridge, across the bridge to the right, to a cabin where our friends were stationed at, where we were able to relax finally. I'm going to break the video down in 4 phases. Phase 1 is when we were trying to evacuate our campsite. Phase 2 is when the road was blocked and we had to abandon our car and our camper. Phase 3 is when we were actually in the check-in center, but the land had finally disappeared and there was no more land as far as the eye could see, and we had to take shelter inside of the building, ultimately taking shelter in the 2nd floor of this building. Phase 4 will be the extraction, whenever we were actually leaving the shelter and making it all the way to the extraction point. Buckle up, get your popcorn, as I tell you one of the worst camping float trips ever. Phase 1 begins at the green circle. After heavy rains and being woke up at 3:30 in the morning told to evacuate, I woke up and this is what we seen.
Oh. On a camp trip get flooded.
So this clip right here is a view of our truck as we're getting ready to leave our campsite. At this point, our entire campsite is underwater. You can see it in the green circle here on the map. That whole area there is underwater at this point. And at the far ahead, you can see brake lights as everybody is trying to leave the exit road. The road we actually have to leave is slightly to the right, and it curves around, and then you can find a little bit of dry land over there. What I did at first is I got in the Volt by myself, and I drove the Chevy Volt, which is Whitney's car, across this part here. And I swear at some points I was floating. I could just hear the tires spinning and pushing me across, and I actually was able to drive it all the way across and out of this area over there to the, at the time, was the high ground over by the bathroom, which would be straight across from this picture right here that you're seeing. After getting the Chevy Volt across this pond right here to safety, I ran back across, and that's when everything's got really serious, because as I was running across, there was areas that was well above my knees as I'm running back to the truck to get to safety. So I'm trying to be David Hasselhoff and run across this water while everyone's panicking, trying to escape at the same time. I get to my truck, we drive off to the side to the right, and we make it all the way to the road to escape. But the road to escape, there's a line a mile long all the way back to the bathroom where the car is parked. So now I take the truck and I kind of park off to the side. At the same time, my homie Chris, he comes up with his family. He has his truck and camper, and he kind of pulls off to the side with me as well. And this is where I'm going to wrap up phase 1, because phase 1 we were still just working on getting out of the camp area. I would say that it was dark, raining, lightning. The water was thick in areas, but it was just kind of sitting, so it seemed like it was just a lot of rain that was filling up everything. It didn't seem like the water was flowing at this moment. That's why I still call this phase 1. There was just a lot of water everywhere, where you were trying to run from high ground to high ground at this time and get out of the camp area. Once we got stuck at the road to try to exit, that's where I'm going to stop, and we'll go into phase 2.